Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Strange Days True Crime, where we look at stories of solved and unsolved murders and disappearances. So sit back and enjoy. The unsolved double murder of Elizabeth Watkins and her 2-year-old daughter, Nicole. Elizabeth Watkins, who went by Liz, moved to Renton, Washington. Renton is located in King County, 11 miles southeast of downtown Seattle. The population was around 44,000, and Renton lined the shores of the Lake Washington. Sometime in the 1990s, Elizabeth had moved from California to leave behind the memories of a son she had lost who was stillborn. But Liz found herself homeless. Soon after, the church took her in and was helping Liz get back on her feet. Liz would join the congregation and was very involved in the St. Matthew's Lutheran Church. Liz wanted to help where she could to pay back the community for helping her. Liz would become friends with a woman named Barbara, and the two became best friends. Liz would give birth to a baby girl in 1993 and would name her Nicole. But she would not stay with Nicole's birth father and was soon looking to start fresh with a new life. Liz and Nicole lived in an apartment on the 3800 block of Northeast 4th Street in Renton. With this new start, Liz enrolled in a nursing program at the Renton Technical College, and Barbara would help Liz study. On November 3rd of 1995, Liz was to study with Barbara, and the pair were set to meet for lunch, but Liz never showed up. Barbara would try calling Liz, but her calls went unanswered, and this was unusual, so Barbara decided to head over to Liz's apartment to check on Liz and Nicole. Once at the apartment, Barbara knocked on the door, and there was still no answer, but she noticed the apartment's sliding glass door was partially open, which was strange. Barbara could hear the TV was on and called for Liz, but was met with silence, so she let herself in. Barbara was met with the most horrific scene. The bloodied bodies of 39-year-old Liz and her 2-year-old daughter were lying on the kitchen floor. Liz and her daughter Nicole lived alone in a 1-bedroom apartment, which they had been in for about a year, and investigators found no trace of forced entry or a struggle, and nothing was stolen, and both of the victims were fully clothed, which ruled out sexual assault. There wasn't much for evidence as the apartment was clean and nothing was out of order. An autopsy was performed, and the medical examiner stated that both had died sometime the night before around 5 p.m., and both Liz and her daughter had been bludgeoned to death with an unknown object and died from blunt force trauma. The investigators never found the murder weapon at the scene, so it was undetermined what the object was. It appeared that from the placement of the bodies, that Liz was shielding Nicole to protect her. The last confirmed sighting of Liz was on the night of Friday, November 3rd, around 6 p.m. Investigators began to dig into Liz's past and present life, looking for some sort of clue as to who may have killed the mother and toddler, but they came up empty-handed. There was no involvement with drugs, love affairs, or debts. It seemed as though Liz led a clean life. Friends said Liz was quiet, nice, and kept to herself. Investigators would question Liz's ex and the father of little Nicole, who also lived in the state, but he had a solid alibi. Police would interview many others, but nothing led to any leads or breaks in the case. Liz and Nicole's case would grow cold, and in 1996, a new detective would take over the case and was handed 5 boxes of documents on the case. It has been over 20 years since the brutal and senseless murders of Liz and Nicole, and the case so far contains 400 names and interviews. Investigators believe the murders appeared to be random, and at the time one neighbor stated they heard a woman scream, but it then stopped, so they thought nothing of it. Police never found the murder weapon and believe the murderer had to have taken it with them. At one point in the investigation, police had a suspect, but they are now deceased, and investigators don't believe that the suspect was responsible for the murders. Investigators still hold out hope that someone will come forward with information on the case, and family and friends will get the closure they need, and Liz and Nicole will get the justice they deserve. Liz and Nicole's case still remains open. If you have any information on this case, please contact the Renton Police Department at 1-425-430-7500 or anonymous tips at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, that's it for this case. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I post new videos. You can also follow me on my Facebook page for more things true crime. Thanks so much, and join me next time for more stories of these strange days we live in.